Hey guys, I'm just going to start the video off by showing you the chart in its entirety. If you notice any interactions that aren't currently in it, please feel free to comment them below. The interrupt or grab action is often misunderstood by many players. As far as I've looked online, there didn't seem to be any full rundowns on how the mechanic behaved, so I decided to make one myself. We'll begin by reviewing the conditions required to initiate an interrupt. If you haven't seen this image already, it is basically a visualization of the hitboxes. So the two hitboxes we care about are the survivor's hitbox and the slightly shorter red attack hitbox. There are only three conditions that must be met for a grab to be performed. Firstly, the attack hitbox must be in contact with the survivor's hitbox. Secondly, the killer has to hold down the attack button, mouse 1. And thirdly, the survivor must be performing an interruptible action. Meeting all these conditions simultaneously, the killer will perform a grab. Due to the fact that the killer's position is actually not one of these conditions, the killer does not have to be directly behind the person that they are attempting to interrupt. You can even grab them around corners, while moving, and even over the top of chests. Now we can get into some of the interactions. Two things to keep in mind are that if a survivor is healthy and they can be grabbed, then they can also be grabbed injured. However, if a survivor is not grabbable whilst injured, they are also not grabbable whilst healthy. This is the reason why I won't be showing every single interaction, and just the ones that get the point across. We begin with standing by itself. The survivor isn't performing any action, so obviously they cannot be interrupted. A good thing to remember for windows is that you can only be grabbed out of a window if you're injured. The only exception is when the injured survivor is fast vaulting. Similarly with pallets, the survivor must be injured for an interrupt to occur. I'm going to show both animations, as there are two different animations depending on which side the survivor is vaulting from. However, this does not change the interrupt or grab mechanic at all. Lockers are where it starts to get a bit precarious for the survivor, as they can be interrupted during any animation or interaction with the locker, and of course they can still be grabbed directly out of it. Getting into some miscellaneous actions, the gen grab is one that's fairly straightforward. Same thing with the hook save. This is a fairly straightforward grab, just grab them anytime during the animation. You must be mindful, however, if the survivor is able to complete the action progress bar instead of grabbing them, you'll just M1 them. Exit gates are very straightforward, just grab them anytime during the animation. Same thing with chests, anytime during the unlocking animation you can grab them. The hatch, however, you cannot grab survivors out of the hatch. A while back this was removed in favour of just allowing the killer to close the hatch. You can also grab any survivors who are trying to sabotage hooks. Interestingly enough, you can actually grab survivors out of the any means necessary pallet resetting animation. Moving on to killer belongings, you can grab injured or healthy survivors directly off a totem. You can't grab them out of a bear trap, however you can just pick them up directly. You can grab them off Freddy's alarm clocks. You may also grab them off a jigsaw box if they're trying to remove a trap from their head. With Plague's Pool of Devotion, for some reason I included healthy, but obviously you're broken there. You can pick off injured people though. Demogorgon's active portals, whilst they're trying to seal a portal, you may grab them. And with Pyramid Head's Cage of Atonement, you can grab them just like a hook save. Next is the killer's powers. Whilst cloaked, the Wraith cannot perform a basic attack, so they cannot grab. Though he can grab you directly out of a locker. After blinking, the Nurse can grab you and it will also bypass the fatigue state. If Pig is crouched, he can only perform an ambush, which is not a basic attack, hence they cannot grab. Legion is similar, it's not a basic attack, so they can't grab. Whilst crouched, Ghostface may perform an interrupt. Oni can also perform an interrupt whilst in his Blood Fury state. It will just pause it, and he can get it back later. However, since Blight's Lethal Rush is technically not a basic attack either, he may not perform an interrupt. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope I was able to teach you guys some things or maybe clear up some misunderstandings. If you want to watch me make some Boosted Us plays live, I do stream on Twitch on weekends, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, thanks for watching and I hope you have a good day.